guys, this is Mandy Shoptaw with Arkansas Heritage. In today's Arkansas Historic Preservation Program Sandwiching in History Tour, we're going to explore the Hemingway-Pfeiffer Museum and Education Center in Piggott, Arkansas. Now, if you don't know about the history of Ernest Hemingway in Arkansas, this is a fascinating trip. So Ernest was married to a lady named Pauline Pfeiffer, and her family was from Clay County. They were originally from St. Louis, but they moved to Clay County, and they were large landowners. And they lived there for most of their lives. So Ernest and Pauline would come and visit the Pfeiffers. And so Ernest wrote some of his works there, including A Farewell to Arms, and some of his short stories. The site is run by Arkansas State University's Heritage Sites program. And so without further ado, we'll let Ruth Hawkins and Adam Long take it away.
I was working as Vice President for Institutional Advancement at Arkansas State University when we became aware of the National Scenic Byway program, and so my office took the lead in trying to develop a route along Crowley's Ridge as a National Scenic Byway. So we did get it declared in 1998 as Arkansas's first National Scenic Byway, and then we began working with developing these sites.
The university is interested in this project. It serves two functions. One is we're a historic site open to the public. The other role that our sites serve is as laboratories for students of the university, particularly students in our Heritage Studies PhD program. The Pfeiffer family purchased this house in 1913. It was built by a local master builder here in Piggott named Buck Templeton, and Mr. Templeton built it to be his family home, but the Pfeiffers, when they moved here, were able to convince him to sell it.
When Paul Pfeiffer decided to move his family here from St. Louis, it was a big enough house for his family that he talked Mr. Templeton into selling him the house.
So it was 1910 it was built, and then the Pfeiffers moved in on July 4th, 1913. As you go through the house, you see many features that come from it being the house of a local builder. For instance, every room has a different pattern tin ceiling.
So it has a lot of commercial builder touches to it, like all of the doors have glass in them, which is kind of unusual. You see that in drugstores and that sort of thing.
And we believe the reason for that is that Mr. Templeton was using scraps from his other projects and making them work here. As you come in on the ground floor from the front porch, there's a parlor and a living room that kind of flows together. Off of that space, there's the office we're in now, and then next door is the family chapel.
Mary was a devout Catholic. Paul promised her that if they moved to Piggott, he would put in a chapel for her and have the chapel consecrated and have the priests come up here periodically to say Mass with her.
And also on this floor is the dining room and kitchen, and then a summer kitchen off of the main kitchen.
So this was the first electric stove in Piggott, and the Pfeiffer family sold most of their furniture to the James family, but they sold some other things to people here in town, including this stove. And the lady agreed to give it back to us, and when we went to get it, it was still in use. She was boiling some green beans on the stove when we picked it up. So we had to literally wait until the stove cooled down before we could haul it back here.
And then upstairs we have 5 bedrooms.
Pauline's room upstairs is kind of unusual. I call it Pepto-Bismol pink. And so it's where she and Ernest stayed when they would visit here. And so I like to tell people that I think they would be shocked to know that Ernest slept in a Pepto-Bismol pink bedroom.
Behind the house, the family's barn was converted to a studio for Ernest, and then that has also been restored and is part of the museum experience now.
When Ernest and Pauline first came here in 1928, he was well into the first draft of A Farewell to Arms. So he finished most of that draft while he was here, while they were waiting on the birth of their son.
The barn started off as a barn. The Pfeiffers, they owned farms, they didn't farm themselves. They were using it essentially for storage. And so when Ernest visited here, that was a quiet place to write. And it was like that as a barn that he worked on A Farewell to Arms here. And then after that was successful, the family converted it into a studio for him. So the finished studio is from 1932, and so when ASU purchased the barn, we restored the barn studio to that period.
I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I learned so much when I went, and I always encourage you guys to explore heritage tourism here in Arkansas. Start with our National Register of Historic Places databases and springboard out from there. Next month, we are going to explore some Cold War history with the Titan II missile silo in Bologna. You don't want to miss that one. For more on Arkansas Historic Preservation Program, visit our website at arkansaspreservation.com.